All right, another one. The length of Viola's bathroom is 2 feet longer than twice the width. If the diagonal measures 13 feet, then what are the length and the width? So, first of all, they don't really tell us what shape the bathroom is, but when they say length and width, we can kind of assume it's a rectangle. So we have the bathroom here, and um, the length is 2 feet longer than twice the width. So let's call the width x. Okay. So I didn't do as good of a job of this last time, so we'll define these our variables. So x is the width, right? And then 2 feet longer than twice the width. So 2 feet longer than, so we're going to add 2 to 2 times the width, right? Twice the width. Cool. So 2 feet longer than twice the width. All right, and then that's going to be the length. Okay, then it says the diagonal measures 13 feet. So here's our diagonal. Draw a dotted line this time. So 13 feet. Then we have 2x plus 2, and we have x. So now we have a right triangle, because it's in a rectangle, that's a right angle. And then we have a triangle here that includes a right angle, so that's a right triangle. So now we're going to remember our Pythagorean theorem, right? One of the most important theorems in all of math. And so, we're going to do the length squared, right? And we just label these, we'll call this A, B, and C. And so we'll do the length squared plus the width squared, equals the hypotenuse squared. So now it turns into very similar question to the last problem, right? So here we go. So we're first gonna get ready to FOIL this, right? So we're gonna multiply these values. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times 2 is 4x. 2 times 2x is 4x. And 2 times 2 is 4. So lots of 4's there. And then we bring down the x squared, right? Oops. And then we bring down the 13 squared, which is 169. All right. So now we have to do a couple things. We have a lot of like terms that we want to combine, and we want to get one side to be 0. So I'm going to subtract 169 from both sides. Let me change the color here. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 169 from the 4 because those are like terms. I'm going to combine 4x squared with 1x squared, 4x with 4x. So what I'll get, 4x squared plus 1x squared is 5x squared. 4x plus 4x is 8x. And then 4 minus 169 is negative 165. Okay. So now we can look to see, are there any numbers that those have in common, right? We have one side set to 0, so we can start factoring. And the first type of factor we want to do is find a GCF. And so is there a GCF that goes into 5, 8, and 165? Not bigger than 1, right? So we can't do that. So now I'm going to multiply 5 by 165. All right, and we get 825. So now we're looking for numbers we can multiply to get, 825 that we can subtract to get 8, right? So I'm going to start with 5 and 165. It's the closest we have. So 165 minus 5 is 160. So that's way too much, right? So I want to get these closer together. All right, so I want to check does 6 go into 825, and it doesn't, right? So no even numbers will go into an odd number. So we can skip that. So let's check 7. 825 divided by 7. Let's see if that works. Nope. So that doesn't work. 8 doesn't work because that's even. 9. So remember, multiples of 9 add up to multiples of 9. So 1 plus 6 plus 5 is 12. So 9 doesn't go into 12. So 9 is not going to go into 165. 10 doesn't work because it ends in a 5. 11, let's try 11. 165 divided by 11 is 15, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I divided the wrong number by So 825 divided by 11, excuse me, is going to be 75. Cool. Sorry about that. I divided that by 11 instead of that by 11, right? Okay, so now 11. So 75 minus 11, we're getting closer, but we want to get to 8, so we're not there yet. So now I would check, does 12 go in? And 12 doesn't go in because it's odd. Does 13 go in? And 825 divided by 13 is a decimal. And so then we check 14. 14's even, so that's not going to work. So 15. 825 divided by 15, that is going to work. So 825 divided by 15 is 55. So we're getting closer. 55 minus 15 is going to be 40. 15, let's see, 16 is not going to work. 17, nope, that's a decimal. 18's even, so that's not going to work. 19 is not going to work. 20 is not going to work. 21 will not, or yeah, I think, let's try 21. No, that won't work. See, 22, 23, 24, 25 will work. So 825 divided by 25. Let's see what we get. 33. And 33 minus 25, ding, 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 ding. There's our winner, right? I'm starting to get nervous. We're going to know if we're going to find it. So we put an X here and an X here. And we put the 25 here, the 33 here, although it doesn't matter. As long as you get the signs right, this tells you the sign of the bigger number. And then since this is negative, that means your signs are going to be different. So that means the smaller number will be negative. Okay. All right. Now we're not done yet. We still have to take whatever A is and divide by it. So then we can reduce. 25 divided by 5 is 5 over 1. So we can send that 1 in front if we want. Or just kind of leave it invisible. So here 33 over 5 doesn't reduce. So we just send the 5 over and then the 33 will stay. So we get 1x minus 5 times 5x plus 33 equals 0. Okay. So now we're going to get our answers, right? Now remember, we can go straight to the answers. We'll just practice that here, but definitely show the work if you need to. So I'm going to change the sign of the 5 and that the negative 5, and that gives me positive 5. Here I'm going to change the sign of the 33, so it becomes negative 33 over, and then I'm going to put the 5 on the bottom. Now, one of these numbers doesn't make sense, right? We're talking about length and width, right? We're talking about x is the width of a rectangle. So which of those doesn't work? The negative, right? We can't have a negative width. It doesn't work. So when we're dealing with geometry, physical things, there's some, there's a few different limitations on there. So in this case, we can't have a negative. All right. And so x equals 5 is the value that that we get that's actually valid. And so that's our final answer. Let's see what it, yeah, what are the length and the width, they say. Okay, so that means, and we're talking about feet, right? So we want to make sure we have the right units. So x is the width, right? We defined that earlier. Okay, and then 2x plus 2 is the length. So we can say width is going to be 5 feet. All right, so all I did is I just took this, and then the length is going to be remember it's 2x plus 2, so it's going to be 2 times 5 plus 2, which equals 12 feet. Okay, so there's the length and there's the width.